Here at our Institute, we receive voicemails, emails, and comments regarding the benefits of many of our unique formulations. One of the most amazing formulas is our oxygenated aloe vera. Today I would like to share with you a sampling of some of the stories of how people have been helped. People with Candida, asthma, arthritis, and even fibromyalgia.
And you can call them at 619-507-2113 or visit their information site at thecandidaclinic.com. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Lacey, and this is my testimonial for the Oxy Aloe Flush product. This may sound a little bit strange, but I really do feel like this is one of the most important things that I've done in my life in a really long time. And I say that because if you are listening to this, you are probably currently suffering, as I did for a really long time. I know what it's like to feel that helpless feeling. You just feel like giving up. I know what it's like to go to doctor after doctor and get so frustrated because you're not getting help, and be told that your symptoms, that there's nothing wrong with you, or that your symptoms are in your head. I know exactly what that's like. Just to give you a little bit of background. My problems began, I guess, about 8 years ago when I'm still really young, in my very early 20s, and I began to have just some bladder infections, and I went to a doctor that I like to refer to as prescription happy. I kept getting bladder infections, and so she decided that it would be best if she put me on antibiotics as a preventative measure. So I was on antibiotics straight for about a year. I never thought that could ever possibly hurt me because I trusted my doctor, and I didn't like having these bladder infections. They were annoying, they were uncomfortable. But guess what? That created a whole other world of problems that I dealt with for about a decade. I was on the antibiotics, and I noticed that after a while of being on them, I just kept getting yeast infections. Off and on, I would take medicine for the yeast infection, and it would come right back. It would go away and come right back, and it was just this vicious, miserable cycle. Well, I think about a year ago, it was a little over a year ago, last spring, I think that one day my body just had reached its lifetime maximum of abuse, and it was just pissed off. And I woke up, and it seemed like it happened out of nowhere, but I began to break out in hives all over my body. I developed thrush on my tongue. I had a really odd itchy rash, some kind of fungal rash on my hairline. I was having bladder spasms, which are extremely painful. I was having severe vaginal yeast infections beyond anything that I had possibly ever had before. And I went to the doctor and was prescribed some antifungals, and all of these things just happened all at once, by the way. And it was these medicines that had helped before, at least get rid of them temporarily, were not doing anything. I was miserable, and to top it all off, I had just gotten engaged. And let me tell you, I was not a happy bride-to-be. I was utterly miserable. I couldn't sleep at night because of the bladder spasms, the pain, the severe pelvic pain. It was so uncomfortable. I know what it's like to be up in agony, sleepless nights, being up, going to 24-hour drugstores, just trying to find something that could help me get through the night. It got to the point where I just had to pretty much dope myself up to, take sleep aids just to sleep through the night. I was so miserable and in so much pain. And I just began to feel helpless. I went to urologist after urologist, specialist after specialist, gynecologist after gynecologist. I had tests done, blood work, everything, you name it. And they were just like, I don't know, what's wrong with you? I don't know, nothing, it's just, you just have a yeast infection. That's it. And no one was helping me. And there were so many tears shed, so much frustration, so much anger, and a mountain of medical debt. And I was still really young, so it was so frustrating. I got to such a desperate point last summer, about 6 weeks before my scheduled wedding date. And I stayed up all night. It was just one really particularly miserable night, impossible to sleep. And I did a lot of research on YouTube, and I did a lot of Googling and looked at a lot of health forums. And I discovered Dr. Whiting and the oxyaloflush product. When I read the testimonials, and as you are and listened to them as you are doing now, I was very reluctant to buy it. I really thought, you know what, this is probably not going to work for me, because I had tried so much. I had tried over-the-counter, I'd tried prescriptions, over-the-counter, I'd gone to vitamin shops and health food stores and gotten antifungal herbal products, cleanses, I mean, you name it. I spent several grand already. And I was like, you know what, this is expensive, and I'm about to get married, and I really can't afford this, and this is probably not going to work again, and then I'm just going to be even more pissed off and even more broke and still miserable. I really did think that was probably going to happen. But I decided, I was so desperate and so miserable, what the hell, I'll just do it. Because I think when you hit such a desperate point, you're willing to pretty much do anything in hopes that it will help you when you're just so desperate for help. And that's exactly where I was. I was desperate. I ordered the product, and it took about 4 or 5 long days to get to me. When it arrived, I began to take it immediately, and according to the instructions, and about a week in, I felt a shift. I felt different. I was still having flares. I was still not normal. I was still having symptoms, but instead of pelvic pain with the vaginal yeast infections, I was just having these vaginal yeast infections, and the pelvic pain was gone. I noticed one morning my thrush in my mouth was gone after having been there for 4 solid months every single day. Few days after that, the rashes were going away. And then about a month in, my symptoms, every single one that I just named to you, was completely gone. I was able to enjoy my wedding. I was able to enjoy my honeymoon with absolutely no symptoms whatsoever, and that meant the world to me, and it was nothing short of a miracle in my life, because I just had almost given up. I suffered off and on for almost a decade, but I suffered badly, badly, badly for 4 solid months, day and night, nonstop, no relief. And the fact that my symptoms were gone was just unbelievable. I am so incredibly, incredibly grateful to Dr. Whiting. I'm so grateful it almost brings me to tears, and I really, really mean that. I'm amazed at the research that he's done, what he's put into creating this product. I tried other oxygen products too, by the way, that did not do anything, or would help slightly. Nothing, and I mean nothing, has helped me personally the way that the oxyaloflush product is. I also want to say that if you do choose to buy this product, if you're suffering as I was, and if you do choose to try this, you have to keep the faith, and you have to be diligent, and don't get frustrated and become disheartened if your symptoms don't go away overnight. Dr. Whiting explained to me that healing happens in layers, and if you've been suffering for a really long time, and if your body's been toxic for a really long time, you may have to be on the product a while to really cleanse your body of what's in it. And for me, that was systemic yeast. I've decided that I will periodically do some routine cleanses at once or twice a year with the Oxyaloe flush, and that's perfectly fine with me, because it gave me my life back, and I don't have to suffer anymore. I am so grateful. I will gladly buy the product a couple times a year and keep my body yeast free, because it's an amazing, amazing product. I believe in it, and I wanted to share it with all of you, because I believe that it's our duty in this life to help other people by sharing things that have helped us. Thank you, Dr. Whiting, from the bottom of my heart. And to all of you, I wish you healing with this product. God bless.
This is my testimonial. I used the Oxyaloe flush for Candida, and if I had not, I would not be here to tell the tale. I had a dreadful infestation. It was so bad that it was in my bloodstream, even got into my eyes and ruined my retinas. I have poor vision, but thanks to my daughter, who worked with her Curves Club at the time, Dr. Whiting got her onto this product to get it for me. I did the flush, and I needed to do it a second time, and I'm telling you, it brought me back from death's door, literally. And I am free. My naturopath suggests I do a maintenance once a year, which I'm just about to do again. But anyway, I'm alive thanks to Oxyaloe. So thank you, Dr. Whiting. Thanks for Oxyaloe. Goodbye.
I'm calling you to talk to you a little bit about the Oxyaloe product that I started last summer. I have asthma, and so my oxygen level has never been really good. And so when I talked to Kelly last year, she suggested that I might try this Oxyaloe, that it might help me. About a month after I started taking that, I went to the doctors, and I had them check my level of oxygen again, and it had gone up about 7 points, which to me was a big deal just in a month. The other thing that it works for me is that I don't get as winded as I used to. Sometimes I used to get winded just walking up the steps in my house and working out, and so it's all much easier now. So I have really enjoyed this, and I will continue to use the Oxyaloe as long as I see that it's really making my breathing much, much easier. So thank you.
Last week of February 2008, I woke up and could not raise my arms above my head. I had to use both hands to do things like pulling the covers up over me, putting on a jacket, squeezing toothpaste, could not dress myself without help, and so on. After testing, my doctor said I had a little fibromyalgia. I changed my diet drastically and eat as a diabetic would, in very small amounts and not regularly. My fibromyalgia settled in my arms and severely in both my wrists. I went online and found the fibromyalgia starter kit. I started with ToxiCleanse, and within 1 week my pain was diminished. By the end of the second week, I was feeling much better. After the mega dose, I started with liquid daily Oxyaloe. At this stage, I can honestly say I am 95% pain-free and can do almost everything without much discomfort. It is so nice to be independent once again. I fully expect to be 100% pain-free when I am taking the Fibro-Ease and the Liquid Daily Supreme for the rest of my life. I thank God every day for Dr. Whiting's success and the help he has given us for a healthier life. By the way, I tell everyone with fibromyalgia to go to your website and check it out, listen to the videos, and read about the products. Thanks for being there.
It was the only thing that got me over a humongous yeast infection that I had been left with after being on a medicine that caused me great intestinal problems. After doctors and products, this was the only thing that cured me and got my life back on track. And I also used the Megadoff since then, and I'm feeling great. So anyone that's having intestinal or yeast problems, I totally recommend the Oxyaloe. It works. It's the only thing that works.